Hey everyone, it's Deputy Chief Chandler with your police department. Just wanted to come live to you today. Just talk about our winter response to this winter storm that we're all dealing with. Thankfully, this morning it's been very calm and our incidents have been very, very low. We haven't had a single crash till I started talking and just had on the interstate. So hopefully I don't jinx things. But before the crash on the interstate just now, there have been zero crashes in our community. We did have one car slide off, but the other incidents that we had throughout the day have been about four medical calls. Thankfully, nothing serious or weather related, just the normal day to day incidents that we do have in our community. So I have Jake with me. He's passenger seat. He's going to control the camera. We're going to get to driving so you can see kind of how some of our roads look. And early this morning, the roads were snow covered. It was a lot of heavy snow. It was able to keep up on the roads. That has since melted. And then now there's more heavy snow, and the roads are starting to become more snow covered now. And that's probably why we have the crash coming out, is because the roads kind of look deceiving. For the most part, they've been clear, but now with the heavier snow, as the temperature begins to drop into the afternoon and evening, we do expect the roads will get worse. We were kind of afraid of putting a message out this morning about the clear roads because they could change at any given moment because of different bands of snow that come through. If there's a heavy band of snow, the roads become icy and slick. Thankful for our public works teams. They've been out and about working hard all day. You can tell what roads they've treated for sure because they are mostly clear. Earlier, salt has definitely helped with the temperature hovering around 31, 32 degrees, some areas 33 degrees. It's right there borderline on being a very dangerous situation. But right now, things are going okay. I can't speak that same, for the other areas of part of Wilson County, but for Mount Juliet, we're grateful that we've had very low incidents today. That's not to say you should get in your car and go out and drive around. By no means, do not do that. We're still encouraging people to stay home, and if you have to get out, of course, we understand that. But if you don't have to get out, you don't want to get out in this, especially as the afternoon lower temperatures come on in the evening when the sun goes down and the snow continues, the roads will just continue to get more slick and hazardous out there. So we can take questions. I'm going to turn the laptop over to Jake so we can control the different camera views and take your questions that you have. I'll narrate where we're driving so you can kind of see how the roads look. Right now, we're sitting in the parking lot of St. Stephen's Catholic Church, which is on Lebanon Road. And we'll turn out onto Lebanon Road and head into Hickory Hills, go through Willoughby Station, we'll take South Green Hill down to Division Street, and we'll come back out on Mount Juliet Road. So hopefully we can make this interactive. If you have questions, type those in the comments. We can see those, Jake can read those off, and get going. But I'm glad everyone's staying home and staying safe. And hopefully the crash that just came is the only crash we're going to have today. That is wishful thinking, but we're going to hope for that, right? So y'all hang tight, pay attention, and I'll get to driving. Jake, you're going to get this control?
Let's get it.
All right, awesome. So like the roads mostly today look like this parking lot looks. They're wet, a little slushy, but as the snow has continued, you see they're starting to become more snow covered. Lebanon Road about 30 minutes ago was completely clear. It was just wet. Now you can see that it's snow covered. But we've had a heavier band of snow come through, and it's just able to keep up. It's not melting as fast as it was earlier. There is a lot more traffic out too. Earlier today, not much traffic at all. People were staying home. I think what we're probably seeing on the roads today are people just trying to get home from work, get home a little early before it does get dark. Maybe some people just trying to get out and see what's happening in our community. So we're going down Devonshire Drive. Again, an hour ago, it was snow free. Now it is becoming snow covered. A little bit slushy, a little bit icy. roads are actually much worse now than they were an hour ago. So if you thought you're going to try to get out, I would encourage you to please don't get out. If you do get out, take it slow. You don't want to make any quick movements when you're driving in the snow and ice. Slow and smooth is always best. You don't want to slam on your brakes. You don't want to quickly accelerate. You can easily lose traction. If your car has all-wheel drive, that's great. Full-wheel drive also helps as well with the traction and driving through the snow and ice. And I do think all the work our public works teams have done leading up to this with the salt, brine, the pre-treatment liquid that they put down, and then just salting throughout the day has been very helpful. I've seen the state out as well. They've been on Long Lebanon Road and the interstate plowing, trying to clear the roads as best as they can. It's an ongoing process with the continual snowfall. We'll have to see what it does throughout the weekend. We're barely going to get above freezing throughout the weekend. I think it's supposed to be a high of 34, 35 tomorrow. So we'll be dealing with some form of hazardous roadways probably until Monday, Tuesday. Of course, your bridges, your overpasses, anything that's elevated are always more hazardous than your other roads because they have airflow that flows under them and the road itself is just colder. Looks like we have some folks that have been out enjoying the snow and sledding a little bit. See, that person was creative. They were at a boogie board they would use on the beach.
We do.
And Jennifer Hamblin asked us a question.
Yeah,
about
pull it up.
lunch. So have we had any luck finding places open to eat? So we were thankful enough to get Marco's delivered.
Yeah.
So all of our staff is provided with pizza today. I think if there is a few places open.
There is a BJ's Hot Chicken down in Providence, which is a new hot chicken place. They've been open for a couple of months now. Glad to have them. I love to eat Nashville hot chicken. And they're open. And they reached out to us today to offer our staff that they were there cooking food and we could come by and grab a bite to eat if we needed to. Because not a lot of places are open. We also had pizza delivered to our headquarters from Marco's to help with our emergency communication center staff and other officers who could stop by to have a meal. When you work in public safety, a 24/7 operation, we got to eat too. So we're always looking for places to eat. We know the best places to eat as well, because that's pretty much all we do. Is we're working, and then when we can eat, we're going to go eat and make sure we get a meal. I'm definitely not going to miss a meal. Nice family out and enjoying the snow. This is Willoughby Station Boulevard that you see on the screen. And an hour ago, it did not have snow on. Now it does. Thankfully, call volume has been very low throughout the day. Everyone's been safe, been taking it slow. We're grateful for that. We've actually were able to send some of our staff home early. If we have to ramp up staffing again, we can quickly do that. But right now, we don't see the need to. I've noticed the snow is a good type of snow you can make a good snowman with.
Oh yeah.
So we've seen some very large snowmen throughout.
Any road closures or really bad spots?
Yeah, so Tyler, no road closures, thankfully, no really bad spots. And part of what's helpful is with Public Works, they have 5 snow removal trucks and salt trucks running on a 24/7 basis. 4 trucks are on dedicated snow routes, meaning different routes in the city are designated as a tier 1 priority or a tier 2 priority. Tier 1 handled first, those are your larger roadways, then tier 2 are handled next. And they're constantly hitting those roads and trying to keep them clear and salt on and scrape them. The 5th truck is what's called a hotspot truck, and that is a truck that our emergency personnel can call for quick response to difficult areas. So I know this morning there was one, our patrol sergeant was able to call the hotspot truck out there, and it treated that section of, I believe it was a curve on Rutland, and got it treated. And it's helpful having that flexible snow removal truck out there because our officers can quickly call it in different areas for treatment. But it also doesn't take away from the normal routes that the 4 other trucks are plowing and salting and scraping when they can. Right now we're leaving Willoughby Station, coming out on South Spring Hill at the new roundabout. And an hour ago, South Green Hill was clear. Now, with the heavy snow, I guess the temperature is probably a little bit less. It's snow covered and a little slit. So if you definitely get out and about today, please be careful. Roads are only going to get worse as it gets later and sun goes down. Always take it slow, no quick movements, don't slam on your brakes, don't quickly accelerate, don't turn sharply. Leave plenty of room between you and others. If you do go into a slide, you have plenty of opportunity to correct yourself or a good buffer so you don't hit the other vehicles around you. Where we're at right now is South Green Hill Road at Division Street. I just noticed this, Jake, but we have new traffic signals. So that intersection used to have traffic signals on just wooden utility poles strung with cord, and then now we have the nice black decorative metal poles for the traffic signal. So that's nice to see. Any other questions? If you have a question, just type those in the comments. Jake, in my passenger seat, he is able to read those. So this is Division Street. An hour ago, it didn't have snow on it. Now it does. I think with the snowfall throughout the day, it's been heavy snow, but with the temperature right there at freezing, it's been able to melt some. It just wasn't keeping up to keep the roads completely covered. As the day continues, we continue to have heavy snow, but the temperatures are becoming colder, and so the roads will likely not melt like they have been during the day today. We didn't have any crashes until about 10 minutes ago. Our first one came out on the interstate. Thankfully, no injuries. But when you see confidence goes up in drivers, but the roads are still hazardous, we see a lot of crashes begin to come in because the motorists feel that the roads are safe and they're either going too quick or making very quick movements, and they end up losing control of their vehicle on ice or snow. So earlier this afternoon, the temperature gauge in my car was showing 33 degrees. Now it's showing 31 degrees. We're on Division Street right now. We're passing Pascal Drive, headed east towards Mount Julie Road. It was interesting. When I was getting ready to do the update, I thought I was going to be able to tell people the roads are nice and clear. and literally 30, 45 minutes went by with a heavy snow band and lower temperatures, and that has totally changed.
big difference between an hour ago and now. For sure.
Any questions popping up?
We got one here asking if we expect it to be over by the morning.
I would think so. Temperature's supposed to get a lot colder, in the 20s. I think some areas will be in the upper teens. And no matter how much salt you put on the road, when it's that cold, it doesn't do much. The salt has been able to keep up throughout the day very well. That's why a majority of today, the roads have been nice and clear and not as hazardous. But as we go into the afternoon, they're a lot more covered than they were at 10 o'clock today, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock today. What you're looking at is Division Street, and we're approaching Mount Juliet Road as we pass the Eagle Park here on our left. It's been a safe day for our police officers. Not many calls for service happening. A lot of stores are closed. Not many opportunities for our typical shoplifters that we're dealing with every day with the Nashville crime influence. Been a few medical calls, nothing weather related, just this normal everyday life and people needing medical response. Thankful for our Mount Juliet EMS division, one of the only cities in Tennessee with their own EMS service, so we get great care from them. Ambulance is readily available to respond. Grateful for our public works teams and all they've been doing today to treat the roads as best as they can. This intersection is Mount Juliet Road and Division Street, Clock Tower on the left. I'll take a right, and we'll just head south down Mount Juliet Road so you can kind of see how that looks towards the interstate area. There is a lot more traffic. Earlier today, when the roads were actually more clear, there was less traffic. Now there's more traffic out. Could be people just trying to get home. Behind us is one of the city's salt trucks that's just out treating Division Street. So they're running a 24-hour operation with their staff. They'll always have all 5 trucks running for 24 hours.
Looks like Jet's Pizza is also open.
Jet's is open. Again, an hour ago, Mount Juliet was clear. It was wet. Now it's slushy, icy, and becoming snow covered. It's gotten a little bit colder out. Earlier was my thermometer in the car was reading 33 degrees. Now it's reading 31 degrees. Question from BD Keeble about our license plate reader program. So the license plate readers work off reading an image of digits and then computing those digits into numbers, which then reflect back to a hot list of known criminal vehicles. So if someone's license plate is completely covered, if the camera itself is covered, it's difficult for it to read the plate. Thankfully, the way the camera is designed, it's rare that the camera itself would be covered up, just with the shielding that it has on it. Sometimes it can become covered if we have hot winds and snow is blowing directly on the lens of that particular camera. But BD, if the plate's covered, of course, it's going to be readable. But if the plate is not covered, those digits are clearly visible. The license plate reader camera will read the plate. And speaking of our snowplow teams, be mindful that you don't want to, they call it crowding the plow. You want to crowd the plow. For them to drive those vehicles, it's a little bit more difficult than you driving your vehicle in the snow because they're larger. They have different pieces of equipment on the front and the back. They're operating different controls. So if you come up on a snowplow, just don't pass it. Stay behind it. Keep your distance. They're going to be dropping salt. You don't want that salt to fly out. Just be patient. Let that snowplow continue in front of you. They're going to go about 30, 35 miles per hour. depending on what situation they're in. You don't want to try to pass them. Definitely don't crowd them by any means because they have a lot of blind spots. But those snowplow operators, they're out working for us to keep these roads as clear as they can, so we can all get back to our normal everyday lives. And the more we crowd them, it's difficult for them to do their job. There have been years where we have had to task police officers to escort the plow trucks because everyone was crowding the plow, creating a dangerous situation. So we just like to remind people, if you do have to get out and drive around, you come upon a snow plow, please don't pass it. Definitely don't crowd it, and then just let them do their job. They won't be in front of you forever. What you see here is Mount Juliet Road at the overpass of I-40. Many of you saw the text message yesterday. If you're connected to our MJ alert system, there was a serious crash. A utility truck went off the road on Mount Juliet Road, headed south near Shell, took out the whole guardrail, crossed over the overpass, went through the guardrail that you can kind of see on the right side of your view here where it's damaged and those orange cones are at, and then went out onto the interstate and then struck the center dividing wall. No serious injuries, definitely no one fatally injured in that, thankfully. And by the grace of God, that truck didn't hit any other cars. It was a serious crash. It barely scraped the bumper of a van driving down the interstate. We're just grateful that there's nothing serious because of that wild crash.
It's a distracted driver, I believe.
Yeah, THC reported that the driver, there's a distraction of the driver in that instance. So be careful when you're out driving. You don't want to drive distracted. And be out riding right now. I'm trying to be conscious not to be distracted as I'm trying to narrate where we're at. We have Jake in the passenger seat controlling the computer system and the cameras, so I don't have to be tasked with that. I can just focus on driving, talking about where we're at. Right now, we're in front of Providence on Mount Juliet Road. We're going to turn onto Providence Parkway. Again, an hour ago, this road was just wet, and now with more snowfall, lower temperatures, becoming a little icy and slick. Definitely a beautiful snow. It's one of those wet snows that sticks to trees. Can make good snowman. Great for sledding. If you're out sledding, if you have kids who are out sledding, make sure you're doing it safely. We've seen kids injured from sledding. I've seen a kid sled down a hill and take out a mailbox, shred it in half. What child was seriously injured. Thankfully, he recovered and had to be transported to the ER because of that. You also want to be mindful of what's under the snow, where you're sledding. You don't know if there's debris, metal, a hole, a stump from a tree. Anything can be under that snow that you can't see. You just kind of want to walk the path before you sled down that path, just to be sure it's clear and safe. Passing Deerfield Apartments, they have a large retention basin with a hill, and there's probably about 40 people out there sledding.
At least. Looks like a good time.
Right now, we're at the intersection of Providence Parkway and Providence Trail. Again, an hour ago, these roads were just wet. They're just becoming worse as the afternoon comes on and the evening comes on. The temperatures get lower.
How many inches of snow do you think we're out of?
I think the last I saw, it was here 2.5 inches, and the last update from the Weather Service said we'll probably get another 2 to 3 inches. So we may actually get that 4 to 6 inch mark that they were forecasting for our area. And in any type of weather forecast is hard. But listening to the meteorologist predicting snowfall, different ratios related to how quick the snow melts, how dense the snow may be, how dry is it, how much moisture is in the atmosphere, all calculates to how thick it's going to be. So this is one of those heavier snows with a lot of moisture in it. Definitely very pretty.
Starting to see the branches hang a little lower. The weight of the snow.
Yeah, it's going to be that type of snow that sticks to things.
Yeah.
And the next couple of days, it's going to be real cold at night, in the low 20s, late teens, but during the day, it's going to creep back up just a little bit above freezing. So we'll see some opportunities for snow melt. We'll see some opportunities for the roads to improve. Sunshine helps tremendously. So if we get that sun out, it'll be great. I'm not a big fan of the snow. I'll go about one day with it, then I get tired of it. I know some people love the snow. Here we have one of our city snow plows coming through. They're scraping on one of their routes. Really appreciate what they do. You can see the big difference that plow has done just on the road that's been treated right in front of you. On the left side of the road, that plow just came through, scraped, laying some salt down. On the right side, where I'm driving, the plow hasn't hit recently. It's a 24/7 operation with them. They don't just come out once. They're constantly plowing, and they're on a tiered road system. Some roads take priority over others. Some roads never see a snowplow, right? Those are your neighborhood streets tucked away. Their main focus is keeping the main roads open. And really, it's for emergency purposes. We need to keep the roads as clear as we can for fire service, ambulance service, also for police response to different areas. Thankfully, on the police side of things have improved from the days where we used to drive rear-wheel vehicles. The newer vehicles that we've had for the past 8 years now, 10 years, the SUVs, they are all-wheel drive, much better handling in snow and ice. Our trucks that we have are four-wheel drive. The other SUVs that we have are four-wheel drive, so we're able to get around and respond to different incidents. Right now, we're on Providence Trail in front of Rutland Elementary. Again, an hour ago, this road was just wet. Now it's snow covered and icy.
Got some sliders up here at Rutland as well. They got a nice little hill going.
Yeah. They out there?
They are. They're by the main entrance.
Yeah, so Rutland Elementary is a sledding spot. There they are. Yeah. And they're building a snowman. Some question from BD had, we'll click that there, just about if a police department vehicle is damaged by an at-fault driver, do we recoup the insurance? We do. BD, our insurance carrier does go after the other party's insurance carrier to replace all the damaged equipment that we have. And the incident you're speaking of on 40, it was an incident where there was a previous crash related to snow and ice. The vehicle came very quickly, hit that same patch of snow and ice, didn't stop, and slammed into the police vehicles. Thankfully, there's methods our officers use or trained to use. They park their vehicles a certain way, a certain distance, to try to avoid becoming injured in those incidents. We kind of go out there with the high likelihood that our vehicles will actually be struck because it happens quite often. And you park your vehicles in a certain manner. So if they are struck, they don't cause any injury to you or the car in front of you or anyone who's out there. You constantly have to be on the lookout for that vehicle that may be coming too fast or not moving over that runs into your crash scene. That's why I tell people too is when you see a vehicle, emergency vehicle on the side of the road with the lights off or blocking the road, there's a reason they're there with their lights on. There's some type of hazard, some type of incident, and you just need to slow down, pay attention, and be ready to stop or move over should you have to. Sometimes you have no idea what that police officer, emergency responder could be dealing with. It could be something very critical. It could be something very simple. But you just always want to be careful when you're out there with those emergency responders and you see them. Do your best to slow down, move over, give them plenty of room. This is South Road, approaching Beckwith Road.
Trash cans out. I think the trash truck's running today.
They're not. My trash truck service normally comes on Friday, and they sent me an email yesterday and said they were not running. So I'm sure I'll get an email that lets me know. This little intersection in South Rutland, Beckwith, is always a very slick one. Steep grade. Normally I slide a little bit. I did pretty good there. I didn't slide. So we're going to head northbound on Beckwith, which will turn into Golden Bear. We'll kind of see how that looks.
So I came through this morning about 10:30, and this was just wet. No ice, no snow. Now it's a lot different. So
it's amazing what a couple degrees of temperature will do. Also with the continued snowfall. We had a heavy band of snow come through. It's kind of like a slushy, icy mix on the road. Slick, of course. It'll definitely get very frozen tonight as the temperature drops in the low 20s. So if you have to get out and about, I'd say get it done now. You definitely want to be home by dark. Another city snowplow is headed our direction, man. They're out working hard. Out scraping, you can see the difference it has made on the road. So just in the 15 minutes I've been chatting, we've seen 3 snowplows along our routes where they're focusing on the tier 1, tier 2 roads throughout. I'm just taking it slow. No reason to go too quick. Not much traffic out here. Last thing I want to do is be involved in some type of crash. Some people are more confident than others, like this guy. I noticed that car that passed too had a lot of snow packed on top of it and on the back of it. As it gets colder, as it melts a little bit, freezes a little bit, melts a little bit, freezes a little bit, it is going to become what's called an ice missile. And it'll fly off the back of that car in one piece once that car gets up to any speed. And whatever car is behind it is going to get hit with it. On the interstate, I've seen those ice packs fly in the windshield of cars. I've seen people get injured by those ice packs. They have to be transported to the hospital. So please, before you drive in the next couple of days, if your snow is covered, if your car is covered with snow, remove all the snow off the car. Not just your windshields, not just your side view windows, but from the top and from the trunk area, because it will eventually fly off at any once you get up to speed. It can be quite the projectile that hits the car behind you.
This is the type of snow right now where you can really get out there with the broom or even a blower just kind of blow it off before it ices over. If it starts to melt, ices over overnight, it's a little harder.
Right.
But I was able to get out this morning and blow off the cars in the driveway, and that way that when I left, there was no snow missiles, no ice missiles, just snowballs. So.
We're on Golden Bear Gateway. Again, an hour ago, it was clear. Just got an update from one of our patrol commanders about officers reporting a lot of slick spots throughout the city, which is what I'm seeing as well. And they've notified Public Works. Public Works, of course, is out. We've seen their trucks out and about. And they're working hard. But as it gets colder through the afternoon and evening, the road conditions are just only going to get worse. You have to get out and start slow, no quick accelerations, no hard braking. Keep plenty of distance from the cars around you. And I'm just going to pull off here in this parking lot. We will switch the camera view. If you have any questions, type those in the comments, and we'll work on just ending this live. We'll probably do one more live this evening just to give you an update about how things have changed from now until this evening. It's just amazing to me. An hour ago, all the roads were fairly clear, and now there's snow covered. Even the parking lots really were clear, and now they're snow covered. And we knew this would happen. The Weather Service continued to keep us updated. Of course, timing is always has a lot of variables. But we'll get parked here as I slide around the parking lot a little bit. But yeah, good deal. Thank Jake for his help. Appreciate it, Jake. Yeah. If you have questions, type those in the comments. We'll be glad to get to it. But glad y'all could join us. There's nearly 500 of you watching this live. So we drove around Mount Juliet, just talking about the different road conditions that we have seen. We saw 3 Public Works vehicles out working. There are 5 of those out working on a 24/7 basis, doing their best to try to clear the roads. An hour ago, the roads were clear. We didn't have any incidents. And then before we started the live, a crash just came out on the interstate, and as we began to drive around, the roads just continued to get worse the whole time we were driving around. But heavy snowfall, the temperature is a lot lower than it was earlier. So I would say now into the evening, the roads are just going to get worse. We'll just have to see what they do tomorrow. Early in the morning tomorrow, they're probably going to be hazardous. I can almost guarantee that. And they may have some clearing into tomorrow afternoon once the snow for sure stops. The sun comes out and they're able to keep working on those roads with the salt and with the scrapers to try to clear them up for you. But just going through some of the comments, I see some from Holly White here. She's asking, what does Loeb Road look like? That's not in the city, but I can guarantee you by the other roads I've seen in our city, it's going to be snow covered, slushy, and icy. Large roads like Mount Juliet Road, even the interstate now, Lebanon Road, Golden Bear Gateway, they are snow covered, slushy, and icy. So a lot worse.
I took Logue Road on my way to work. It was fine, but as we can see with every road in the city, if it's snowing like it is here or there, it's going to look the same.
Yeah. It's a nice, kind comment from Susan here. Just appreciate NJPD and their relentless service to our wonderful city and blessings. Very kind of you, Susan, and grateful for our teams that are out there working hard every day. Thankfully, because it wasn't as busy earlier today, we were able to send some staff home, but we do have plenty of staff on duty now to be able to respond to anything begins to happen. If we need to call in more staff, we can easily do that. A question from Angie about what does Lebanon Road look like, and Angie, it's the same as all the others right now. They are now snow covered, slushy, icy. So be careful if you have to get out and about. Just BD Keeble here asking questions about our police vehicles that we use. We have a mix of police vehicles. Typically, the platform that our agency operates for the Ford Explorer platform. We found the most benefit out of those, but Ford canceled our vehicle orders through the COVID period, and they're just continuing to have a hard problem keeping up with that. So we've had multi-platform vehicles now. We run the Ford F-150s, Dodge Durangos, Chevrolet Tahoes. Really, it's whatever vehicle we can get our hands on when it is time for us to order those and when they are available. Because with any type of 24/7 operation, our vehicles are always aging, always getting miles. When they get very high in mileage, we begin to retire those because they become problematic with mechanical issues. And we don't want to have a police vehicle running the emergency traffic that is in poor shape. So thankfully, we are blessed to have great equipment at our police department with the support of our community, and we are well taken care of with our equipment here. Tammy is now living in Florida. She used to live here back in the late 80s, 90s. And miss the snow, but don't miss the cold. And I agree with you, Tammy. How many inches so far? But I believe right now we're at 2.5 inches, probably pushing 3. We're supposed to get another 2 or 3 inches. And then the storm's going to move out probably around 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock this evening. That's what the Weather Service is telling us. All right, folks. Well, if there's anything you need, please reach out to our police department. Check on your neighbors, check on your friends and family. If you know of someone who is cold, who doesn't have heat, we have ways to get them heat. We have ways to get people food. We're here to serve our community in whatever way that we can. We're here to help. That's what we do at MJPD. We just want to be of service and of great service to all of our community members and take care of our community as best as we can. That goes with protecting you, keeping crime out of Mount Juliet, but also it goes into serving whatever capacity that we can. It's helping you change a flat tire, unlock your car, get medicine delivered to you, help you get to a very important appointment, whatever it may be, we're here for you. And we definitely don't want anyone to leave without. So if you know of someone, please just reach out to our non-emergency line, and they will be connected to the dispatcher, and that dispatcher will then start connecting that person with different resources that we have available to us to get them the help that they need. Be safe if you have to get out and about. I would encourage you to not, if you can stay home and just stay warm and enjoy your time with yourself and your friends and your family. And we'll probably tune in again this evening sometime once it gets dark. I'd say probably around 7 o'clock this evening to give you an update before we go home for the day. So be safe and take care. If there's anything you need.